Hi, I'm Mike, founder of GoodBed. Today we're going to take a close look at the Starling mattress from Nest Bedding, which features an innovative design, including their signature contour grid. We're excited to give you our take on this mattress. Stick around. Now, just briefly, in case you've never seen one of our videos before or been to our website, goodbed.com, the number one thing that you need to know when shopping for a mattress is that mattresses are highly personal. This means the best one for me is going to be very different from the best one for you, and vice versa. And it also means that any list of the best mattresses that you may find on the internet is nothing but garbage, not to mention the fact that those spots are sold by the publisher on those lists. But putting that aside, what you need to know as a mattress shopper is what we call the 3 Fs. Fit, feel, and features. Fit is about the characteristics of a mattress that will determine whether it's good for your body, okay? That's in terms of your weight, your shape, and your preferred sleep positions. Feel are the characteristics of a mattress that can't be universally better or worse. They can only be better or worse for your personal preferences. And then features are those things about the mattress that can be better or worse, but may or may not be a priority for you personally. So that proprietary framework is how we organize all of our product testing at GoodBed, as well as how we organize all of our reviews. So let's start with fit, since that is what determines to what degree you're going to get the 2 things that everyone absolutely must get from their mattress, which is proper spinal alignment and adequate pressure relief. So in terms of the Starling, one thing I need to clarify first is that I did mention the innovative design here. One facet of that is that you can unzip the cover and actually flip the top 2 layers of foam over in order to kind of reverse the order of them. So we looked at this, of course, both ways. We tested it both ways. It does not actually affect my spinal alignment assessments. However, it does affect some of the other assessments we'll get to later in the video. As it relates to spinal alignment, let's start with side sleepers, since that's the majority of people. We felt like this is a good fit from a spinal alignment standpoint for the lightest side sleepers, and actually gets even better as you go up in weight. So we call it a very good fit from a spinal alignment standpoint for the heaviest side sleepers. We felt like the lightest side sleepers, the one downside would be that you might not feel you can get kind of your shoulders into the mattress quite as much as you might like, but again, still good spinal alignment. Whereas the heaviest side sleepers, we feel like that won't be as much of a problem. And we're not conversely worried about your hips going too far into the mattress as a heavier side sleeper, because of the fact that there is some zoning in this contour grid layer that I can confirm does affect how much conformance there is, how much sinkage there is, and that does kind of keep your hips more buoyed. And so we think that would be sufficient for heavier side sleepers to still have very good spinal alignment. Moving over to back sleepers, we felt like the order was reversed here. We thought that the lightest back sleepers would get excellent spinal alignment, and it would be a little bit not quite as good, but still very good for the heaviest back sleepers. Maybe in that case, just a little bit of sinkage in that heaviest part of your body, in the hips, would just keep it from being maybe quite as good as it would be for the lightest back sleepers. But again, very good to excellent across the board for back sleepers. And lastly, moving on to stomach sleepers. This is the position where you absolutely cannot afford to have the heaviest part of your body, which is for all of us, our hips, sinking too far into the mattress, because on your stomach, that's gonna lead to overarching of your back, which is a surefire recipe for back pain. So this would probably be the weak point of the Starling design from a standpoint of spinal alignment, just given the memory foam, given the contour grid and all that type of thing. There, you run the risk of your hips going a little too far, which on your stomach is a no-go. Let's start with the heaviest stomach sleepers. For the heaviest stomach sleepers, I'd probably say, you've got other options. There are plenty of options that are gonna be better for you. This is not the worst by any means, so we'd still say that the spinal alignment for a heavier stomach sleeper is okay, but certainly we'd recommend looking elsewhere. For the lightest stomach sleepers, we'd probably say, you could probably get away with it. It's good, but not the best. So overall, we would classify it as good spinal alignment for the very lightest stomach sleepers. That's just because you're gonna be light enough to kind of float on top of all this anyways. But even you could probably, if you were left to your own devices, could find better options as a stomach sleeper. And then the last thing I would just add here is that I guess a hat tip to the folks at Nest who actually kind of recognized this about the product and actually stipulated in their marketing that this product is principally designed for back and side sleepers rather than stomach sleepers. So now moving our attention to pressure relief. This is going to be the second of the fit characteristics, and this is going to be principally a concern for side sleepers because that's the position in which your body's weight is distributed over the smallest surface area. In terms of the Starling, we would say overall the pressure relief is best on the top of this mattress, not as good the deeper into the mattress that you go. So for the lightest side sleepers, we'd say that the pressure relief here is very good. As you get heavier and you get to, let's say, the heaviest side sleepers, it's still pretty good, but it's definitely not as good as it's going to be for those lightest side sleepers, because you're going to be compressing those top 2 layers, which is where the majority of your pressure relief is coming from. You're going to get into that contour grid layer, which does have some pressure relief, but it is a lot firmer, and certainly that base foam is quite a bit firmer. And so as you are starting to get your pressure relief more from those layers, as well as even just the kind of scrim sheet in between them, it's going to mitigate the pressure relief for those heavier sleepers. But again, still for the heaviest sleepers, pretty good, and for the lightest ones, very good. All right, now let's move on to the second of the 3 F's, which is feel. And again, these are the characteristics that cannot be universally better or worse. They can only be better or worse for your personal preferences. The first of these is softness. Softness, in the case of the Starling, is going to depend a little bit on which layer you have up. However, in either case, we would classify this as a medium firm on our softness spectrum, which is the category just to the firmer side of medium. So overall, we've found that the Energex layer that is kind of on the top currently, that I have right now on the top, and that will be shipped on the top when you receive your mattress, that layer is a little bit firmer than the memory foam layer below it. But the memory foam kind of has that initial firmness. If you've seen some of our videos of like more memory foam mattresses, we sometimes talk about that initial firmness, like when you just kind of smack it, it has this like initial firmness, but then you kind of press down a little bit, give it a little second, and it will quickly give way. So this memory foam is kind of like that. It's generally, I would say the memory foam is softer, but it does have a little bit more surface firmness. So when you put that layer on top, in some ways the mattress feels a little bit firmer. Still, again, not going to change our classification of medium firm, but in some ways it feels a little bit firmer with that memory foam layer up. But nonetheless, like I said, both ways we'd call it a medium firm. The next feel characteristic is what we call cushioning depth, which is going to be the difference between sleeping in your mattress or sleeping on it. In this case, you're going to get a little bit more of the former, just a little bit more of that hugged or cradled sensation, but still kind of in the middle of the spectrum. In general, though, we would classify it as slightly deeper than average cushioning. And that's going to come from 3 things. Number one, you're going to have just a little bit more sinkage than average, just kind of meaning your hips lying on the mattress are going to sink just a little smidge more than average into this mattress. The conformance of the mattress, which is its ability to kind of accommodate your pointy parts, is also going to be just a little bit above average. I mentioned, the zoning in that contour grid layer, which does allow your shoulders to get a little bit further up in that shoulder zone than what you have in your hips. So a little bit above average on the conformance. And then I would say what's called point elasticity, which is basically how closely can it actually follow the curves of your body, like in terms of the contours of your body, I should say. The point elasticity, I would say, is quite high on this mattress, and that adds to that feeling of sleeping in your mattress a little bit, because that mattress is kind of more closely hugging your body in terms of its body surface area. So overall, that nets out to just kind of a slightly above average feeling of sleeping in your mattress. The next feel characteristic is memory feel, and there is just about, not quite, 2 inches of memory foam in this mattress. And it is very kind of slow responding, kind of melting away from you type of memory foam. And so that does give this mattress a bit of memory feel. And of course, depending on whether that layer is on top, right below the cover, or a layer down into the mattress below the Energex, will affect the amount of memory feel, but it will also affect kind of the nature of that memory feel. What I found is that the memory foam and the memory feel is more immediately palpable when the memory foam is on top, of course, and it's more kind of, you feel it more readily and quickly, of course. But in a sense, when it's 1 layer down, which is essentially puts it 2 inches down into the mattress, it does add to the delayed responsiveness a little bit, because essentially what happens is it takes a little longer for the heat from your body to sort of reach that layer of the mattress. So you sort of, in some ways, perceive that delayed responsiveness a little bit more when that memory foam is further, just a smidge further from your body. because there's enough of it that you still kind of get that delayed reaction. So overall, we would say that this mattress has an above average, but not too much, just sort of slightly above average amount of memory feel, no matter which way you have it oriented. And that, by the way, that slightly above average rating is kind of on a spectrum that we created, recognizing that memory foam is so pervasive in mattresses these days that the average mattress today has some amount of memory feel. So this would be just slightly more than what that average is. The last feel characteristic is bounce, and this is something that the Starling mattress has none of. We look at this at 3 levels of the mattress, starting on the surface. I mean, there's a teeny bit of bounce when that Energex layer is on top, but obviously when the memory foam is on top, there's absolutely no bounce on the surface whatsoever. And even with the memory foam below the Energex, it's pretty minimal. We also drop a bowling ball on the mattress to test the mid-level bounce. That would be the most bounce that this mattress has, but even then, the bowling ball doesn't really pop up much, particularly when the memory foam is on top. And then of course we test the deep bounce, which is what most people think of, kind of when you throw your whole weight down on the mattress. And wow, this is if you're looking for a mattress that does not have bounce when you kind of jump on it, this is your ideal mattress, because I don't think we've tested one that is able to just absorb my weight without even popping me back up at all, quite like this one. All right, now we're going to move on to the features of the mattress, the third of the 3 Fs, which again are the things that can be better or worse, but may or may not matter to you personally. And the first of these is a great example of that because it's motion isolation, which is really going to matter most for you if you sleep with a partner or if you have pets or kids joining you during the night. And in the case of the Starling, this mattress has exceptional motion isolation, which is our highest score we could give it. We really found that we tested this several different ways. You know, I'm dropping a bowling ball, I'm jumping in as inconsiderately as I can as a prospective disturbant, and no matter what, there's just almost nothing transferred to the other side of this mattress. So if motion isolation is important to you, this is really an exceptional choice on that front. The next feature is temperature, or really just the ability of this mattress to keep you sleeping cool and comfortable during the night. And if you've watched other videos we've done, we often talk a lot about airflow in this regard, which is very important when it comes to moderating your temperature. And this is a mattress that is all foam. And that means it does have kind of an inherent challenge relative to mattresses whose support layer is comprised of springs, which of course are 99% air. So that is something we should just stipulate up front. However, the designers of this mattress did do a few things to mitigate that by adding some cooling features to the mattress. The first of which is the cover. So the cover has what they call thermic phase change material. If you're not already aware, phase change material essentially is microscopic wax beads that when the heat from your body reaches those wax beads, it changes from a solid state to a liquid state. And in the process of doing that, it is essentially absorbing the heat and creating a cooling sensation for you. So that is designed to basically work for a limited period of time, 10 to 20 minutes, long enough for you to be falling asleep is the idea. In this case, I gotta be honest, I don't feel a lot of the phase change material. It's not like a palpable coolness to the touch the way in some cases you might find. So I think if you're someone who's concerned about that, someone who doesn't want their mattress to feel cold when they get into it, this is not going to be an issue for you on this mattress. However, there is some phase change material in this cover, so you should still be benefiting from the standpoint of that initial coolness. The second thing that they have here is in the memory foam layer, it is infused with both graphite and titanium. So those are both conductors. Conductors are essentially designed by infusing them into a foam. They're designed to help heat travel more effectively through that layer, okay? So that's the point, is foam can be dense, but if heat can travel more effectively through it, the same way it can through any conductor, metal or the like, then it can get away from your body quicker. And in this case, it will hopefully help that heat reach the third cooling feature that they added more effectively, which is that contour grid layer, which one of the benefits of these channels that are carved into that layer of foam is airflow. I mean, that's not the entirety of reasons that they did it. They also did it to create zoning and increased conformance and so forth. However, perhaps a side benefit, if not a main benefit, is that it also provides a layer of the mattress through which air can travel more effectively and heat can escape more easily. So with all those features taken into account, we would say here that the cooling ability and the temperature of this mattress is pretty good. The next feature is edge support, which may be important to you whether you like to sit on the edge of the bed like I'm doing now, or whether you find yourself often lying on the edge of the bed because folks come in and crowd you out to the edge or what have you. So the point is we tested both ways, and in this case the results were pretty different. Overall, we found that sitting on the bed, you can see there's a pretty big dip here, and in fact the edges, the side edges of the mattress are reinforced. Even though this is an all foam mattress, that signature contour grid layer of the mattress does have some much firmer foam, about 4 inches of it. It's only 2 inches thick, but it's 4 inches wide going along the edge, so that you don't have that kind of convoluted, those channels going all the way to the edge of the mattress, which that does firm up the edge from on the sides of the mattress. However, they don't have that feature at the foot. And even with that feature on the sides of the mattress, there is still more of a dip than you'd find on some mattresses. So we'd probably say that the edge support there on balance is pretty good. Whereas when you're lying on the edge of the mattress, I think which of course is where the side rails are perfectly placed, their effect is also more pronounced. And you would say that the edge support there when lying on the edge of the mattress is very good, which overall, by the way, we generally weight more heavily in assessing edge support because by and large, that's going to affect the usable square footage of your mattress more so, and also is going to be something that a position you might find yourself in for hours, whereas this position is not likely to be somewhere you're going to be sitting for hours. So on balance, we would say that the edge support here is good. The next feature is ease of repositioning. How easy is it to move from one position to another? Most people, this is not going to be a consideration on any mattress, and I would say this mattress should be no different. You'll be fine. For people who have a real serious concern about this though, I would say this is not the easiest mattress to move around on. There is a couple inches of memory foam here, and whether it's the top layer or one layer down, it is going to affect your ease of movement just a smidge, but not enough that it's likely to be a problem even if this is an area of concern for you. So overall, we'd say the ease of repositioning here is good. The next feature is the degree of natural materials in the mattress, or maybe more importantly, the lack of harmful chemicals. As it relates to natural materials, this is not a natural mattress. Nest actually makes plenty of mattresses that use tons of natural materials. This is not one of them. So they make no claims about this being a natural mattress or it's using natural materials. That being said, as it relates to the lack of harmful chemicals, what I can tell you is that all the foam used in this mattress, which is obviously most of what is inside this mattress, is certified to the CertiPure standard, which is basically an industry standard that looks for the presence of and off-gases of various harmful materials and certifies that neither are present beyond some minimally acceptable threshold. So if this is a concern for you, I do think that is something that you can take reassurance from in this area. The next feature is adjustable base compatibility, which is something that more and more people are interested in because they want to use their mattress on an adjustable base to raise the head, raise the feet, and really kind of make it more of a lifestyle purchase. So we obviously evaluate this. A lot of people think of this as a binary thing. From a binary standpoint, we can certainly tell you that this mattress is adjustable base compatible in an official sense. The manufacturer deemed it so. They designed this mattress to bend and flex, and of course, as a result, it will not void your warranty or give you any problems with them if you were to use it on an adjustable base. In terms of our assessment, we look a little beyond that at just how well it bends and flexes, how well it performs when used on an adjustable base. What we found here is that in terms of its conformance, this mattress does, because that support layer, that foam support layer is pretty firm. I talked about this before. It's a nice, rigid, firm support layer, which has a lot of benefits, but one of the drawbacks, perhaps, is that it does not necessarily want to bend and flex when you have it on an adjustable base, particularly when you put it to the extreme test that we do, which is to test it when both the head and the foot of the base are fully elevated at the same time. In that instance, we found that even underneath my weight, it was not quite conforming all the way to the base Certainly not on the side that I wasn't on. It was definitely not conforming there. So overall, we'd say the conformance of the mattress kind of on an adjustable base, which I do think will improve over time as you use it on an adjustable base more and more, but nonetheless, the conformance a little bit like pretty good, okay, maybe something in that range. Whereas the other thing we look at is, does anything weird happen when you're using the mattress on an adjustable base? Because sometimes mattresses do kind of just get weird. And in this case, nothing besides the conformance issue that I just mentioned gets weird with this mattress. This is really a nice, smooth situation. There's no clumping of layers here when you're kind of in your seat area, even when you have the head and foot both fully elevated. There's no bowing of side panels. Nothing seems to get weird when you're using it on an adjustable base. So in that standpoint, it does great. Net on balance of all these things, we would say the adjustable base compatibility here is very good. All right, now let's move on to 3 things that are going to be important to you anytime you're buying a mattress online, like you would be doing in this case, which are delivery, return policy, and warranty. In terms of delivery, Nest offers free delivery to your doorstep. From there, you'll be on the hook to kind of unbox it and get it into your bedroom. So that's going to be just a 2-person job, but otherwise is quite simple. From a return policy standpoint, Nest offers a 365-night in-home trial, which basically means that anytime during that period, you can return the mattress for a full refund, no questions asked if it's not the right one for you. The only thing they ask is that you give the mattress at least 30 days to give your body a chance to get used to the new mattress. In terms of warranty, Nest offers a great warranty on this product. It is a lifetime warranty for starters, basically meaning that as long as you remain the owner of this mattress, it will remain under warranty. Secondly, non-prorated, basically same coverage is going to extend for the whole time that the warranty is in place. And thirdly, they actually have a more generous definition of what an allowable sag is. So the industry standard for what's considered to be a normal amount of indentation or sag is 1.5 inches, meaning anything less than that, any sag or indentation less than that is considered normal wear and tear and is not covered under warranty. And they, by the way, measure that with nobody on the bed, so it's really like a visible sag or indentation. In the case of Nest and this mattress here, they define an allowable sag as 1 inch. So when you combine their definition of what's considered to be an allowable sag with the lifetime aspect of this warranty, to me, what this says is that they are very confident in the materials that they've used in this mattress. All right, now let's take a peek inside this Nest Starling mattress and show you actually what it's made of. And we'll start at the top, I guess, with the cover of the mattress, which does feature what they call this thermic phase change material, as I mentioned. The other thing I would point out to you about this cover, it's got a nice 4-way stretch to it. So that helps with the conformance properties of the mattress for sure. So it's like a reasonably thick, it's almost like a thick rugby shirt kind of a thickness, and a nice soft fabric. Right below that cover, you have, at least the way we have it organized here, which you can obviously change, we have the Energex layer. This is a 2-inch layer of 3-pound density Energex foam, which is basically, it's a pretty fast response foam. Some people call it latex-like. I would dispute that a little bit. It's not nearly as fast responding as latex. However, it is certainly on the faster side for polyfoam, and we would consider it to be an ultra high density polyfoam. So from the standpoint of an ordinary non-memory foam, this is a lot of density, and it's a very durable material. Below that, you have a layer of 4-pound density memory foam that's infused, as we mentioned, with graphite and titanium, which are conductors. You can actually feel a little bit of coolness in this layer. This is, as I mentioned, a little softer. This layer, this Energex is kind of a medium to, it's a little bit on the soft side, I guess. But it's certainly got a little bit more overall rigidity than this memory foam does, but the memory foam has kind of just that surface rigidity. That's what I was describing. But overall, you can see this is also pretty slow responding memory foam. So that's just something else to be aware of. Now they say in their website that the memory foam is about 1.25 inch. Our layer here that we got is, I'd say, closer to 2 than it is to 1.25. So overall, the mattress that we got, they say 12.5 inches is the total construction. The one we got was closer to 14. So you're getting perhaps a lot of mattress for your money in that respect as well. So basically the way this works with these top 2 layers is that they live kind of by themselves in this section of the mattress that can be opened up, and then there's a nice cover on top of that section so that you're not disturbing any of the other parts of the mattress when you change these around or for that matter, replace them over time. Below that, we went ahead and just cut open the rest of the mattress so you could just see what's in it. And the first layer right below these 2 pieces of foam is that contour grid layer. And that is 2-pound density foam. I'd say like it's medium firm. It's on the firmer side for sure, this contour grid. And it has a channel carved in it that's just about the size of my finger. You know, it's in a grid pattern, the square grid pattern, flat tops. It's not convoluted in the sense of like rolling tops, which is a design that I think is more susceptible to breaking down over time. This should hold up a lot better. And what they did too in this contour grid layer is they zoned it in such a way that the grid pattern is smaller in areas that they want to provide more conformance, namely your shoulders when you're kind of sleeping on the bed at the head of the mattress. They did it on both ends of the mattress so that you can obviously rotate the mattress anytime you want. Basically, the grid pattern has smaller squares and more channels per foot, if you will, in the head and foot than it does in the center third of the mattress, where it conforms less because it's got the weight of your hips that it needs to also accommodate. So that was a smart design in terms of a zoning standpoint. And of course, we talked about how the contour grid layer also has a 4-inch rail going along each side of the mattress to give it a firmer edge. And below that contour grid layer, you have what they call the transitional support foam layer. They list this as 5.5 inches. In our case, it was about 6 inches. This is a 1.5-pound density foam. I'm not sure why they call it transitional foam, to be honest, because I mean, clearly it's more than doing transition work here. This is where the bulk of the support of the mattress, underlying support, is coming from. And it's quite a firm foam. It's a nice rigid foam that is kind of giving you a nice firm base support layer. And then below that, you do have what they call the base support foam, which they say is a 1 3/4 inch layer of foam. And this is a super high density foam. This is a 3.5-pound density foam. I think ours is actually closer to 2 inches, which is kind of, now that I think I've accounted for all the delta between 12.5 and 14. But nonetheless, this layer here is obviously very high density foam and is going to kind of just be the final form of support in the mattress. And the last thing I'd mention about the overall construction and design here, I did talk about this zip-on, zip-off cover. We obviously zipped it on and zipped it off in order to flip these layers over. We found that to be quite an easy process. I did it myself in about 5 minutes. I would, however, recommend that you do it with someone else. That makes it a lot easier to get these things lined up. These 2 layers are not glued together, so obviously, you know, you can, when you flip them up over, you want to make sure that they are aligned up with one another and with the mattress, and that's just easier with 2 people. So the other thing I would add is just in terms of maneuvering this mattress, it is a nice touch that there are a couple of handles on each side of the mattress. It's not a particularly heavy mattress, but it is certainly nice to be able to have sturdy handles to anytime you're moving a mattress. All right, now let's just summarize my take on the Nest Starling mattress. I've used the word innovative a couple times in this video, and I do think this is an innovative design for a few reasons. Number one, I really like the way it's so easy to zip off this cover, and that allows you to rearrange or even replace these layers of foam to suit your needs, whether up front or over time. And so that's a nice feature I like. I'm impressed with this contour grid layer that I haven't seen something like this before. The channels carved into it are done in such a way that I do think, first of all, I like the zoning aspect of it, that they did create a little bit sort of more rigidity in the center third so that they're supporting your heaviest part of your body better and allowing more conformance under your pointiest parts, which is probably for most of us our shoulders. And so that's, I think, a smart design. And overall, the way that they carved those channels, mitigated some of the concerns that I might generally have about sort of the more broad classification of convoluted foam, which I guess this kind of would technically fit into. So overall, I think that was done in a smart way, and I like that. I also really like the durability and densities of the foams that they've used, particularly these top 5 to 6 inches of foam. If I have a concern, by the way, it's probably the layer below that, what they call the transitional foam, which is really the support foam layer. That's a 1.5 pound, but that is so far down into the mattress, and it's also quite a firm foam that it doesn't really give me a big concern overall. And these top 5 or 6 inches of foams are really high quality foams. I mean, these are either what we would call a high density, or even in some cases what we would call an ultra high density foams. And so as far as durability goes, that's really our best predictor of durability. So overall, I think this is going to hold up very well, which is, as I mentioned, evidenced in the very generous warranty that they offer. That shows they're confident in that as well. So, which I would still see even as yet another positive thing about this mattress, that they actually not only feel confident, but they're acting confident by offering that warranty. So overall, I think there's a lot to like. I talked about how I think this is going to be a good fit from a spinal alignment standpoint for a wide range of back and side sleepers. I did talk about how this is a mattress that is kind of a medium firm feel with just a little bit of that sleeping in your mattress sensation, and not just a little bit above average memory feel, but not like a ton of memory feel, and really no bounce to speak of. So obviously, if you're looking for a mattress with those kinds of characteristics, and if those kinds of characteristics sound appealing to you, and if, for example, you are also someone who cares about edge support, which we think is good here, and particularly good for an all foam mattress, as well as someone who cares about motion isolation, which we found to be exceptional in this case, then if all those criteria sound like a good fit for you, I would definitely think that this mattress is one that you should consider. So there you have it. We hope you found this to be a helpful review of this Nest Starling mattress. For more information about this mattress, you can go find it on our website, goodbed.com. And one thing that I think you'll find very helpful you can do there is you can compare this mattress side by side with any other mattress that you may be looking at, including across all of the features and characteristics that we covered in this video. You can find that compare feature right up in the header of our website. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and we really hope you sleep well.